Now, Natalie is a first-time caller out. What? Natalie is a first-time caller out of Michigan. Natalie, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, good morning, Jesse. Thank you for taking my call.
Absolutely. Thank you for calling.
I started listening to you about a month and a half ago, and at first I thought, "Wow, this guy's pretty wild. He's out there. This guy's crazy." But
What a mess!
the more I listen to you, just everything you say rings absolutely true with me. Over the last 10 years, I've become increasingly aware of the evil in myself.
Nice.
And
Nice.
I've always been skeptical of women. I see the evil in my sisters and in my mother. I went and forgave my mother recently, and it went well.
Nice.
She told me thank you, and it was a good discussion. And she said she wishes maybe she had done things differently. She divorced my father when I was pretty young, and he was destroyed by his own mother and my mother, and he ended up self-deleting himself in 2013. So
what did that mean?
He took himself out.
He committed suicide?
Yeah.
You call it self-deleting?
Yeah, I didn't know if I could say suicide on the radio. So.
Okay. What?
Yeah. So anyway, moving forward, I've struggled with addiction and relationship problems, and I'm 36 years old, and I have an 11-year-old son, and his father was an alcoholic, and he died when my son was 4 years old. And I've just gone in and out of relationships, trying to find that love, seeking for my father, I guess. And my son has just watched me struggle and go from one relationship to the next. And so now I'm currently with a man. I'm dating a man. He's 2 years younger than I am.
What?
And
but
yeah, well, we've been together for about 3 years. We live together. My son calls him dad, and he's definitely a beta, but he tries. I mean, he's got big mommy issues. His mother was a single mother. He lost his father at a young age, and he definitely worships his mama. She takes care of him, and he has some mental health issues. So she pays his bills a lot of the time, and I'm just, my son's getting to that preteen age, and I'm really trying to work on myself and figure out what the right thing is to do at this point for my son. I have the opportunity to move back in with my parents. My stepfather is a good old school, old-fashioned man with strong values, and he works hard, and I wonder whether that would be a better example of a man for my son to be around and learn from his grandfather. But I've changed my mind and changed directions. You recently talked about being double-minded. I always question myself. I question my decisions because I've made terrible decisions for so long, and I want to get to the point where I can make a decision and go with it, like you say, but I also don't want to be imposing my will on my son because he does call my boyfriend dad. So my question for you is what do you suppose is the best situation for my son to go in being a young man and learn how to grow up and be a man?
So right now you're living with a guy, right?
Yes.
He's younger than you, 2 years younger.
Yes.
He's not able to take care of himself?
Well, he has a job right now. It's a temporary job. He's working for a company installing sprinkling systems, so it's just a summer job. He's working right now, but he has a hard time holding on to a job for very long. He's on medication.
And his mother taking care of him
Yeah.
while living with you.
Yes.
And what is the purpose of you, this guy, why, are you living with him or he living with you?
It's his house.
And why are you staying with him?
Well, I guess because it's convenient for me. It's a good, comfortable situation. I'm going to school right now. I was living with my parents previously, but they were in a rural area, and it was a little harder for me to get a job and do what I thought I needed to be doing. I'm trying to establish myself to be able to take care of my son.
Why don't you get a job?
I do have a job right now. I'm working and going to school.
And so why not get two jobs?
I could do that.
So you're living with this guy that's younger than you. His mother's taking care of him partly, and you have a son. And and instead of getting two jobs or a job that make good money, you can make more money. You rather live in that situation?
No, I feel like I would rather be living in a situation in an environment with my parents where they're gardening.
What kind of effect you think this is having on your son to see you living in a condition such as this? What type of effect is that having on your son?
It's probably showing him that as a man, he doesn't really have to step up and try very hard because some mama's just going to take care of him or somebody else will be there to take care of him.
How old are you?
I'm 36.
And so why don't you stay with your parents until you get on your feet? That would be better than living with a man who, according to you, is not capable of not even taking care of himself.
Yeah, that's what I'm starting to realize. And that's kind of the idea that I was getting, that it would be a better and more stable environment for him to be around, my grandfather, who is a better example of a man and who can teach him how to work with his hands. And
so why have you done that?
Because I've been too double-minded, and I've been listening to the voices telling me that I should love him and I should endure. If I really care about him, I should help him be better. But
you really care about whom? The man?
Yeah, my boyfriend.
You can't care about that man.
You're right.
You don't even care about yourself or your own son. How can you care about someone? This man is your another son.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Okay.
Hold on. A mess. 888-77-JESSE. Back in a moment. I want to go back to Natalie, a first-time call out of Michigan. So, Natalie.
Yes.
What a mess.
It is. I agree. It's been a mess. This is ridiculous.
How did you end up in this situation? I mean, from beginning to now, what brought you to this?
Oh, geez. Not having very good self-worth, I guess, and just not being aware of how evil I really am. I mean, I guess that's part of that feminine nature. I spent a good portion of my life lying to myself about what a good person I am because I care so much about other people. But I realized I was always doing it to gain something.
Yep.
Trying to get people to like me by pretending I'm so nice and just giving myself away, looking for validation outwardly. And I I didn't. Like I said, I lost my father to suicide, and I didn't have a very good relationship with him, and I definitely related with my mother. She played the victim, and I fell into it. I always thought my mother was such a sweet, innocent, good-natured person, and I watched her leave my dad and watched her get into dating and try to be the strong, independent woman. And after I left high school, I had no idea what I was supposed to be doing with myself. So I just started chasing men and drugs, and fell into it pretty deep. And my son's father was 17 years older than me. I fell for an older man, but he was an alcoholic, and then he lost the battle with that, and I just became, well, I was already bitter and angry, but yeah, I fell down a bad hole and spent a long time lying to myself. I worked hard. I've tried, after I lost my son's dad, I tried to find that balance between being a mother and working, and always fell into relationships with men that I had to take care of. So I've been a very confused person.
And so you fell in too deep?
I did, yeah. I got in pretty heavy with drugs.
You know I love you, but I'm in too deep. You
right,
know
that ain't
I
love.
need you, but I'm in too deep. Oh, think twice. You're at a perfect point right now in life. If you do what I suggest to you, you're about to have an amazing life.
Well, I'm ready.
Forget about the past. Live right now. Think not about tomorrow. Wake up right now. I want to encourage you to do the silent prayer. Now that you can see that you've been controlled by evil, by anger, and it was never you, don't judge. Don't have any opinion of yourself as a sinner or a saint. You have never done wrong in your whole life. God is not holding anything against you. It was never you, but you went into the imagination trying to make things work because you didn't know what you couldn't see. Now you're starting to wake up. You're going to be fine. If you stay with this, everything is going to start to change immediately. You got to stay with this. Don't have any opinion about what has happened or going to happen. The only reason you end up in this situation, you were not able to see. That's the only reason you're there. Now you're starting to wake up, and the light is going to guide you. So what I highly recommend, you do this. Are you doing the silent prayer yet?
I tried it once.
Okay, go to it, stay with it, so you can become aware of the present, of now, and not yesterday and not tomorrow or any of those things. Do the silent prayer so you can stay present. And right now, keep, my suggestion, but you know what's best for you, right? But do the silent prayer, go to work, save your money. If you see you need to move back to your parents' house or whatever till you need to, you do it. But do what's in front of you and never think about the outcome. Just do what's in front of you to do, and you will be fine.
Okay, I trust and believe that.
Any questions about that?
No, I don't think there's any questions. I can see for right now what I need to do next, and
once you see what to do, then you do it. If you don't see what else to do, continue what you're doing until you see what to do. I want to encourage you to walk by the light. If you don't see what to do, continue what you're doing. But have no opinion about it. Don't call it good or bad. Just live.
Okay. I do have one question real quick.
Okay.
I know you're not very supportive of women becoming educated, but I am currently trying to go to school for nursing.
That's fine. That's a trade. You're not married. You need to be able to take care of yourself and your son until he grow up, become an adult.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's fine. That's perfect. Matter of fact,
Okay.
a nursing job will allow you to live anywhere in the world and get a job.
That's what I was thinking.
Absolutely. If you were married and had children, maybe a different story. But you're
Sure.
not married. You're relying on you. Absolutely get a trade. A nursing job is
Okay.
good.
Okay. Great. Well, thank you for that. Thank you.
And if you think you need to move out from that guy's place, do it. If not, don't. But you work on you now by staying present. Have you
That's
heard
what
me?
I'm trying to do.
Have you heard me? I ask people, who are you?
Yes, I have, and
And who are you?
only I can't say who I am for sure, but I'm trying to be the observer,
Right on.
becoming the observer for now.
That's all you got to do, and don't worry about who you are. You find out who you're not, and you're not your thoughts. You're not your emotions. You're not your body. You're not your worries. You're not your anger. You're not your false happiness. You're not your friends. You're not this, and you're not that. You got to overcome everything that you're not, and you're nothing what you think that you are. None of what you think you are.
That is a huge weight lifted off my shoulders.
And it's so true, Natalie. I can hardly stand it. It's just so
It is.
true. You're none of the things you think you are.
It's so true. It makes me want to slap my mama. That's for sure.
And you don't need a husband. You don't need a boyfriend. You just need to seek what's right. Seek the truth, and the truth will take care of you. It will guide you. And if it's meant for you to, if the truth is meant for you to have a husband, the truth will give you one. If not, you'll be fine. And if it give you a husband, you would never have to work at the relationship at all. It's abnormal to try to make a relationship work. If you got to make it work, it ain't working. It's not from God.
Oh, that's so true. Yeah.
You're not
I'm ready for
supposed to
that.
try to make anything work. You're just supposed to live.
Well, I'm ready to live. I've
Right
done
on.
nothing but die to death. I've been in hell for a long time, and I'm so grateful I found your show, Jesse. So
Well,
thank you for having me on.
you stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. And remember, you and you alone are responsible for you. No man, no mama, no daddy, no brother, no sister, no friend, no preacher, no deacon, no nothing. You are responsible for overcoming your hell. You have to pay attention to you, just as I have to do. Every human being that want to be free, that person alone have to. They are responsible for overcoming.
Yes, sir. That's right. You'll never find it out there, and nobody else out there is coming to save you.
No one can, even if they wanted to.
That's right.
All right? So forget about the past. It's an illusion anyway. Think not about tomorrow. It doesn't exist. This is a brand new day for Natalie. Everything is brand new right now.
Awesome.
So
Thank you so much, Jesse.
You're welcome. Do the silent prayer. Watch those thoughts. Forget about the world and live your life.
Okay, will do. I'm ready.
Let me know how it goes.
All right, I will.
Amazing. Take care, Natalie.
You too. Bye-bye, Jesse.
Bye. A perfect example. Fox 5 Atlanta is reporting 3 students at DeKalb County's Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. High School, are facing charges after officials say they started physically fighting one of the teachers. The students are fighting the teacher at a Dr. Martin Luther King High School. Have you noticed that every street, every school, every city, every town that's named after Martin Luther King Jr., nothing but destruction? Nothing but hell. Why? I thought you were supposed to be uniting the races or something like that. Watch this from 11 Alive.
New at 11, the DeKalb County School District is responding to a fight between students and a teacher at Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. High School, and there is video of the incident. Now, we are going to play it, but we do want to first warn you, you may find it difficult to watch. Now, this just happened yesterday. The district says several students initiated the fight with the teacher. So far, 3 students are facing charges of battery and disrupting public school. We're told the teacher is on administrative leave pending the outcome of the investigation. In a statement, DeKalb County Schools says the district is firmly committed to maintaining learning environments free from violent behavior and will not tolerate physical altercations in our schools.
Yeah, right. The students are fighting with the teacher like that does. Isn't that amazing? You still want to, do you agree with me now that the white people got to separate from the blacks? Would you want to teach at a school like that? That's more send your children to a school like that. U.S. News, the total minority enrollment is 99% and 100% of students. Oh, I'm sorry. The total minority enrollment is 99% and 100% of students are economically disadvantaged. Is 99% what? I think they mean black. Oh, I see. The total minority enrollment is 99%, meaning black people. Minority meaning black. I got it. And 100%, they say, of the students are economically disadvantaged. Those look like poor kids to me. They look poor to me. Now, so 1% of white people send their kids to that school? What the? The black people are not economically disadvantaged. That's a lie. They had backpacks on there. They had hoodies on. They had everything everybody else has. iPhones. They were videotaping the fight. Ooh. They lie to you when they say economically disadvantaged. It's not true, folks. Now do you believe me when I say my country is not coming back? It's not going to come back because most people do not want and will not work on themselves. Their hearts are not going to change. 99% black. A high school named after Martin Luther King Jr. Amazing, huh? And they were fighting with the teacher. No white. Ain't no white there to fight with. Maybe not all black. Maybe they mean other than whites. I don't know. Because now they have lumped Mexicans and Asian people. They have made them a part of the black journey. Isn't that something? Even though the Mexican and the black and the, Asians don't want to be a part of it, they make them be that. At Martin Luther King High School, they're fighting the teacher like thugs. Did you ever imagine that one day, growing up, when you were growing up in high school and going to school, did you ever think about fighting your teacher? Did that cross your mind? My country is not coming back. 888-775-3773. First time caller, William, out of L.A. William, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey, William.
How you doing?
Amazing. How you?
I'm good. I'm in the other L.A. down here in
no man is
Louisiana.
good. Oh, you out of
I'm good for the
Louisiana?
moment.
Why
Yeah,
you put
I'm in
L.A.,
Louisiana.
man? What the? Huh?
LA stands.
Oh.
LA means Louisiana.
Oh, yeah? My bad.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, buddy. Thank you, Louisiana. My bad.
So I don't know.
Go ahead.
The reason I'm calling you today, I guess, is because I knew about you for a few years. Like I used to see you on Owen's show and other places, but I only recently started listening to your show like a couple of weeks ago, and when I come home on Sundays, your fellowship live streams are on, so I'll put those on in the afternoons. And you started talking about things I've been trying to put into practice for a while, and was having a hard time with gaining control, I guess, over my anger and things. And I don't know, something you were talking about last week just unlocked something for me. I can't even put it into words, really, but Friday I got up and I just decided I was going to go to work, and I was going to not really focus on too much other than just trying to stay in the moment and get out of my imagination, which is I practically lived most of my life inside of my head now when I look back. But I don't know. I just, the last 3 days rather, has been really peaceful, and I just I've been doing my own version of the silent prayer as a Orthodox Christian. I do the Jesus prayer all day long. I try to stay out of my thoughts that way too, but I don't know, just something about you talking about the staying present and all thoughts are lies. I don't know, man. It just unlocked a door for me the last 3 days, and I don't know if this is just God's grace showing me a preview of like what life could be like if I just keep at it. But anyway, I don't know. I just know I want to keep going this direction, and just I don't know, man. Thanks. My priest and I've been working on these things for a couple of years, and I don't know, you just broke it down for me in a way that I could just see easier than what he was even trying to explain to me. So I'm a little nervous, but
Relax.
I don't know, that's the gist of what I was calling about.
That's amazing, William. You're on your way now that you can see. Stay present, stay seeing, and everything is going to change for the good. It cannot go wrong. It can only go right. As long as you practice staying present, not believing those thoughts, the so-called good ones or bad, those emotions, the so-called good ones or bad. Don't call them you ever again. No more identities. You have not seen anything yet. You're on your way.
Yeah.
Well,
I appreciate you.
What? You're welcome. You say you're an Orthodox what?
I'm a Christian. They call it, the church is referred to as the Orthodox Church, but it's just,
What do they
Christian
do?
church.
What do they do at your church?
Well, I mean, it just depends on the service, I suppose, but I mean, we pray and worship God, and
Oh, so Orthodox is the same as just being a Christian?
it's Eastern Christianity, so the traditions and things are from the East, as opposed to the Western version of kind of like the Russian Orthodox Church. You know,
okay.
it's the same. The Russian Orthodox, the Greek Orthodox, the Antiochians, it's all the same church. It's
How
just
has
different,
it helped you?
Well, it helped me find the truth, I suppose. I started several years ago. I was having a hard time in life with addiction and things, and
But you haven't
felt
found the
myself-
truth until right now when you found the light.
I've
Hold on, buddy.
certainly.
Hold
yeah.
on. I want to go back to William out of Louisiana, not L.A., but Louisiana. William, first time caller. Thank you for holding. Hey, William.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey, so you're an Orthodox Christian, and I asked how
Sure.
how has that helped you?
I don't. It just helped me find the true church, and yeah, now I have a real relationship with God, and yeah, I don't know. That's how it helped me.
Did you go and forgive your mother?
My mom's been. That's right now. I'm focusing on just staying out of my head. Right. That's something on my list of things to do. Currently, she's not the easiest person to get a hold of. So, but I understand now that I need to. It's more than just forgiving her in my heart. I suppose I need to physically have a conversation with her and say it. I suppose, but yeah, she's not easy to get a hold of right now.
And so
my dad,
have you gone and forgiven your mother?
I mean, in myself, yeah, I don't blame her, and I think I've let go of the anger I might have had towards her.
And have you gone and forgiven your mother?
Not physically gone to her and told her yet.
And
but,
why not?
Well, she just been busy, and hard to even get her on the phone or to answer a text message the last, 2 months or so. She lives about an hour and a half from me. So.
And so why haven't you gone to her and forgiven her for what she's done to you?
I just been, busy, but I do plan to do that.
And why have you done it?
I just been busy. I got 2 jobs, and I go to church, all the time.
You have time to go to church all the time, but you don't have the time to FaceTime your mother or call her and forgive her for what she's done to you?
I'm going to have to physically go to her and do it because she, like I say, I can't even get her to answer the phone right now.
And why not?
She says she's busy with work, and she's always kind of ignored her phone anyway. So she's stubborn in that way, I suppose.
So you called her, and she told you she's too busy to answer the phone?
No, sir. She just doesn't answer the phone, and she doesn't answer text messages till days later. So I'm going to have to go to her if I want to talk to her, I suppose.
And why haven't you FaceTime with her?
She would, she wouldn't answer.
Why are you afraid to face her?
Part of me doesn't want to upset her by saying that I forgive her because she might. I just don't want to upset her, But I mean, I'm going to do it, but I suppose part of me is hesitant because she's my dear mother, and I don't want to make her think about the past or anything like that, So, so in that way, I'm a little hesitant.
And so the real reason you have not called her or FaceTime is because you're afraid to face her.
While that is true, the limitations that I explained to you are honestly what's preventing me from even having a normal conversation with my mom, let alone, one like this.
When God said to you, in order for you to enter into the kingdom of heaven right now, you must first go and forgive. Did you think
Right.
that he didn't know it was going to hurt your mother's feelings?
No, he knows that.
So then why are you concerned about how she's going to feel about it?
I don't know. I suppose it's just I don't have to think about that much. It's just there. I just know that I don't know. I don't have an explanation for it really. I know she tried her best. She made some mistakes, and I don't want to hurt her feelings by implying that she did, damage or whatever.
You're not implying it.
mostly
She
my dad.
did do damage.
Right.
You're not implying it. You screwed up because of your mother.
hmm I'd say it was mostly because of my father, but she definitely played a part in it.
And what did your father do to you?
He was just really abusive, and he never was in. My parents divorced when I was, I think, like 7 or 8, and
What did he do to you?
physically abused me for
How did he
our
physically
entire
abuse you?
relationship.
How did he physically abuse you?
Punching me and slapping me and throwing me across the room as a young kid too. Not even
at
like
8 years old?
yes, sir.
And why?
And below that age.
Why did he
had
do
lots
that?
of anger problems. He
Why-
screwed up from his mama. That's why.
And what did your mother do to you?
She was real young and ignorant about being a mom, I suppose.
And what did your mother do to you?
It's hard to say.
So why is it so easy for you to remember exactly what your father did, but you can't remember what your mother did?
I don't know, because I guess because a lot of my anger came from what I perceived my father had done to me, I suppose. That kind of formed my teenage years of angst, and then into my 20s, and now I'm 34, and I'm done. I'm just tired living like this, So
Did your mother do anything wrong to you?
yes,
Like what?
yeah, but it's hard to. I'd have to really. It's not so obvious to me. I'd have to really
Why not?
sit down and. I'm not sure. I suppose
May I tell you why?
Yeah, please.
Because you identify with your mother. You're just like her. You're taking her.
That's true. That's true.
You're taking her way of thinking, her emotions. You think and feel just like your mother. And that's why you treated your father the way your mother treated him, because you identify with your mother. She pretended to be a victim, and you identify with your with your mother, and turned against your father.
Right.
With your mother's
Yeah,
hatred.
no, I've been a beta for a long time.
Yeah, because you're just like your mama. Your mother has done damage to you that you don't even understand yet.
Right.
And that's why your
Well, I
father.
hope to learn more about it
That's why your
listening to
father.
you.
That's why your father couldn't deal with it, because she was held to pay.
Yeah.
So here's what I recommend. Forget about emotions. Emotions are not necessary. Emotions are not real, and they are not from God. They're all from your imagination. They're from hell. And the reason you don't want to face your mother, you're afraid of her. But you call it love. You say, oh, I don't want her to feel it. You're really afraid of her. You got to face your mother and forgive her. Mother, I'm sorry for resenting you for what you've done. You turned me over to my father. You played victim, and you destroyed my life, recreated me in your image. I realize now you did your best. You couldn't help yourself. I am sorry for resenting you. If your mother say, oh, son, I'm sorry, fine. If she start crying, fine. If she blame your father or you, fine. You forgive her, and God will forgive you.
She's pretty humble in that she doesn't try to blame my dad. And even when we were kids and after
Then
they got divorced, she
go and
never
forgive
tried
her.
to,
Well, then it should be
I will.
hard for you to forgive her for what she's done to you.
Right. You're right. Well, I'm you got a lifelong fan now, and I'm gonna ride with you till the end now. So I just really appreciate what I've learned just in the past week, and I'm just taking it moment to moment and
Right on.
trying to apply those things.
Let me know how it goes, and you stay with it. But now you got to face your mother shaking in your boots, and your father. And don't emotions are not even real, so don't worry about her emotions. That's how people control you with emotions. They're not real.
Right.
They'll use those emotions against you and not for you. All right. So don't. However she act or he acts, that's on them. You forgive them. And forgiveness is, I'm sorry for being angry at you. I realize now you can't help yourself. And God will forgive you, all right?
Right. Yes, sir.
William, let me know how it goes, man. Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it.
I will.
All right, buddy.
Thanks, Jesse.
You're welcome. 888-7753. 773. You can be free if you want to be free. Or just stay in your hell. Stay in your misery and call it good. See how far it gets you. 888-7753-773. Busy phones. Let me go to Jimmy out of Missouri. Jimmy, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Jesse. How are you?
All is well, Jimmy.
Cool. Well, calling today. My dad passed away on Wednesday on his 60th birthday.
Well, may his soul rest in peace.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
For the last few days, just been going through it. The 2 days after he passed away, it was just a lot of in and out of thoughts, and they got me a couple times, and got emotional, and I just want to call to see if just give you my plan of what I'm going to do to try to get through it. It's going to go back to work on Wednesday. Just do my work thing and watch the thoughts. If the thoughts come, if I have to cry or if the tears come, I'll take a walk around the building or do something. And I know that I just really not much I could do except go through it, keep doing a prayer, and that's about it. So I just want to know if I'm missing something, if you have any more advice for me, or if I should just keep doing what I'm doing.
All you got to do is, as you say, and I'm adding to it, just watch those thoughts. Let the morning missing him come and go, and you'll be fine. But do not hold on to the thoughts, and don't let the thought make you say, "Oh, your dad is gone, life is over, blah blah blah. I love him so much." And before he expired, were you able to forgive him?
Yes, I forgave him and my mom back in February of 2022.
So now
I apologized.
Well, then you're fortunate that you were able to work on that with him. All is well. So let the tears come, let them go, dry your face, and go your way. No big deal.
Okay. All right.
Really don't, and be careful not to get into the thoughts because they're going to draw you down into hell. They'll make you.
Yeah.
They'll bring you nothing but misery.
Yeah, it's happened a couple times. It just got me out of nowhere. Just got me.
Yeah.
That's all I could say. I broke down, boo-hooing.
Yeah. Well, like when 3 days is enough to mourn over him, right? So make sure 3 days you be done with it. Go your way.
Yeah. Today, I feel more clear in the morning because the morning times would be a little. I wake up instantly with the thoughts, but I do the prayer.
Yeah.
But even after the prayer, they still keep there, creeping in, showing me the images of them in the bed and all this stuff. And
that's what the stuff is do. Let it go. Don't hold on to it. It's just a thought.
Yeah.
They're not
and I don't want to say
they're not from God. They're not from you, and they're not a sign of love.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I think it's. When I'm really looking at them and examining them, it's like, well, are you crying over because your dad's dead, or are you crying over because how you feel about it?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's right. It's not for your father, that's for sure.
Yeah. And all right, All right. Well, I just wanted to reach out and talk to you real quick.
Yeah.
Just see if I'm missing something or if you had something else to
No.
suggest.
Just watch those thoughts, let them pass. Go to work, have an amazing day at work, and again, if the tears come, let them pass. Don't dwell on them at all.
Okay.
I wish you well, man, and may his soul rest in peace.
Thank you, Jesse. Appreciate it.
All right, buddy. 888-7753-773. Bless out of Louisiana. Bless, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you, Jesse.
Hey,
Hello, good
Bless.
morning.
How are you?
All is well.
Nice.
For real.
Nice.
For real this time.
Okay.
When you're seeking first the kingdom, death might be the best day of your life.
That's right. 100%.
So my question was, when you have advised men, if you're cheating on a woman, you should not tell her.
Nor should women tell men.
So I think if she's asking, then you need to be honest, and a man does need to tell her, because otherwise you're misleading a woman and leading her down a path, and that's deception.
But that's not true. You're not misleading her. It's not her business. It would do her no good to know. So he should not tell her, because if he tell her, she will forever hold on to it. And then he's going to have to try to prove himself to her that he's not doing it. And there's nothing you can prove to a person that don't want to believe the truth.
But that's why it should just be over at that point. And so then she doesn't get the freedom to walk away. He's constructing a reality like, oh, no, this is what it is. And that's called gaslighting.
I'm sorry, say that again?
He's constructing a reality for her.
Meaning what?
She's going, oh, okay, this is a man who we're just together. It's just us. Meanwhile, there's another woman in bed with him.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Okay, so
let's just start over. So if a man or a woman are married and one cheat on the other, the woman should not tell the man, or the man shouldn't tell the woman. They should just stop doing it. You agree with that, right?
My point is, sure, I agree with that. Don't go ahead and tell.
You're saying that if the woman asks the man or the man asks the woman, then they should tell them, yes, I am, if they're doing it?
You got to be honest.
Why?
Because then you're taking away that person's choice, whether they want to be in a relationship where their partner is cheating.
No, you're not.
That person should have a choice.
That's not true. That's not true at all. Because you're in a relationship because you want to be in that relationship. And if that relationship it works without your effort. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it has nothing to do with you or him.
Okay, so I can. I was married at once for a very short time.
Right.
He was cheating.
Right.
And he told me no when I asked. And then we stayed married too long because deep down, I mean, I don't know what you believe about a woman's intuition, but a woman can just tell that a man is going to act different if he's cheating. It just is. And so, the woman is like, I'm picking up on something. You're acting different. There's little clues and hints here and there. Is this happening? And if he says no, I assure you it's not. I promise. I love you, blah, blah, blah. Then she's going, oh, okay, I must be crazy. And then that's pretty it actually causes brain damage. And I'm not exaggerating. It literally does.
But if the woman wasn't nosing into his life and just work on herself, she wouldn't even be concerned about that or even think about that or even look for anything like that. But she's in his life and not her own, and that's why she's suffering.
Oh, that's crazy. Okay. I mean, I can understand that, but I still disagree, which I don't disagree with you often.
Right.
I disagree on that.
Okay. But it does, if you really, really look at it, it does no good. And the man is not being dishonest with her, or the woman is not being dishonest with him by not telling him, because you are you, and you're working on you, and it has nothing to do with anyone else. Just stop doing it, and you have a better chance for your relationship to work than you do if you tell them.
That's wild because it can just drive a person crazy if they haven't, if they know,
Right.
without being told that they're lied to. And like you've experienced
Yeah.
someone lying to you, and you know that they're lying.
But it doesn't drive me crazy. That's on them lying. I know that they're lying, but it's not them. But I don't seek if they're lying or not. It will reveal itself.
So should she just get the divorce and be like, okay, well, this is too much for me to handle. I know that you're lying. I'm going to keep walking on my own path, work on myself. In order to do that, I can't be married to a liar. Should she just leave?
She should not judge him and understand and, see,
Right.
and have a way to see. But if she judge him, and she will, she's not going to be able to deal with it because now she's in the deep darkness of judgment. And that's why why she won't be able to deal with it, because now she's playing God. She thinks she's better than him. I can't believe you cheat on me. Oh, yeah. She's playing God.
I can see that, but it's like to preserve my own, sanity or purity, or preserve my own work I'm doing on myself. I can't stay with you if you're lying and cheating.
But if your mind is not on them lying or cheating, your insanity has nothing to do with the other person, no matter what they're doing or not doing. Your insanity is inside of you. Your insanity is that you're lost in your imagination and emotions, so you're in hell. So your insanity would not be coming from somebody else, no matter what they're doing. Your insanity is coming from you.
Okay.
Because if they were walking on water, you would still be insane.
Wow. All right. That's one I'm going to smoke on. And then thank you for your answer. I'm going to receive that. And then just one more quick thing that I disagree with.
Let me, before you do it, Hake make an interesting point. What's your point, Hake?
That the one about God making Hosea stay with the woman, even though she cheated.
Right.
Yeah, God made this prophet stay with his wife, who was.
I know the story. Did she lie to him about it, and he had no way of knowing?
I don't know.
Okay, that's different.
But
how do you know it's different?
Right.
God's faithful to you despite you cheating.
Because I don't have the context whether he was aware of it, and then we're coming to him saying yeah, this is what's happening with your girl, or she was telling him, or was he asking her?
Why don't you just take why don't a woman why doesn't she just take her mind off the man and work on herself? Because all of her troubles, all of her worries, all of her insecurities, all of her jealousies and stuff, that's inside of her, and it has nothing to do with the outside of her or inside of someone else. It's all her. Why doesn't she just work on herself?
Yeah, thinking about that is what causes that brain damage.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that, and that's why I'm going to stay single forever, because I can't handle this whole mess. So,
but why not overcome the thoughts?
Well, there's still a solid reality. That's like saying, what if somebody came and
don't do it. Don't do it.
Vandalize.
The other thing is, you're not in this situation anymore. So, I feel like pondering the should have, or if this happens again, or in this theoretical scenario, is not going to bring light to you or to anybody.
I know, but I just love this show, and I love Jesse, and I don't want him going around giving bad advice.
Right. And you think it's bad advice to not worry about somebody else?
To lie if someone asks.
But that's not a lie. You don't owe anyone any explanation about anything. How's that lying? You only lie to yourself when you don't admit to yourself what's wrong with you.
Because his advice is for people who are working on themselves. Your ex-husband wasn't working on himself.
Oh, okay. That makes a difference to me.
That's deep, hey. That's so true.
Okay. So, all right, awesome, thank you. And then just another quick thing I disagree with. When she's crying, she's lying.
Right.
I feel like because my life has been a lot of crying, and, I wasn't aware that I was lying and doing this work on myself. I totally get it. But it's almost like to the women who are lost, and when they hear that and they're triggered and they're going, oh, my gosh, like I'm never listening to this guy again. Maybe what they need to hear is when she's crying, she's lost. Like you are lost like a goose in a goose storm.
But they won't look at themselves if you say you lie, but you tell them they lie. When they cry, they lie. They already know they lying, to be honest.
Okay.
Amazing.
All right, we can leave it
Bless. If you can, call me back on this. I wanna prove to you that when she's crying, but you already know that now, though, right?
I do know it now, and I see it all the time when I'm seeing other women crying. I'll see you Sunday, actually.
Oh, you will?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Let's pick up on this Sunday.
All right, cool.
But if
Thank
you want
you.
to call back on the air so other women can hear it, absolutely do that, too.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, cool.
All right. Bye.
And limited time.
What do y'all think about this situation? I really want to know. I really, truly want to know. I want to know. This is CBS Boston. An interview between former Patriot coach Bill Belichick and CBS News aired on CBS Sunday morning and quickly ignited a storm of commentary online. Here is Bill Belichick, a 24-year-old girlfriend jumping in and shouting down a question during a CBS interview. Watch this from CBS Boston.
Well, it seems most sports fans are talking about something that has nothing to do with what's happening on the court or the field, but instead Bill Belichick's interview seen this weekend on CBS. His 24-year-old girlfriend shutting down questions over their relationship.
Now, a few years ago, it would have been hard to imagine Belichick doing an interview like this. So what do Patriots fans think now? We sent WBZ's Logan Hall to get some answers.
Not talking about this.
It's the interview taking the world by storm. Bill Belichick sitting down with CBS News' Tony DeCopel on CBS Sunday morning in an interview being described as awkward and uncomfortable.
Never been too worried about what everybody else thinks. Just try to do what I feel like is best for me and what's right.
Associate Professor of Sports Marketing at Babson College, Anjali Ball, summed it up as best she could.
In this situation, it was awkward from like moment one until the end. And so starting with the fact that he had a massive hole in his sweatshirt, and then every question they seemed to ask kind of ended in an awkward response.
But the moment maybe getting the most attention on social media, the presence of 73-year-old Belichick's 24-year-old girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, and her control over the questions DeCopel asked.
How did you guys meet?
Not talking about this.
What the? Joel, come here for anger, Joel.
I like that coach.
You do?
He's a Trump guy, I think.
Oh.
Right?
No.
I don't care.
And while Joel is coming in, one of my experts, I got to find out. Here's some of the comments. Here's some of the comments from this CBS Boston. Comments from Patriots fans. Watch this from CBS Boston.
And here in Boston, Patriots fans have some strong opinions about the interview.
She seems like she's like a helicopter mom almost to Belichick, which is weird because she's like 50 years younger than him. So, I don't know, man. It's not the Belichick I recognize.
More like cringy. It's just like he's been around the cameras long enough. I don't think he needs you to really hold his hand. Unless there's some crazy story about based off how you guys met, I don't know.
And Anjali agrees. She says there's really only one way to describe it.
It's weird. I mean, there's no other word for it. It's a weird engagement.
Now, Anjali perfectly summed up every conversation that I've had about this interview. I've heard time and time again that was just plain uncomfortable. But something that she did add is that regardless of what he does in front of the camera, nothing can take away from all of those Super Bowl rings that he helped bring New England.
Amazing. So this guy apparently was a football coach for a baseball team.
Football team.
Football team.
American football.
Oh my God.
And I guess he was supposed to be a good coach, right?
He's still a coach.
And he's still a coach for the Patriots.
No, he's quit being for the Patriots in 2025 to present. He's a coach for North Carolina.
Oh,
Tar Heels.
Here's an image of this guy and his girlfriend, Belichick and his girlfriend.
She looks mature, at least in the face.
But not in the waist.
Meaning she looks old in the face?
Old, yeah. A little bit.
So he's 50. She's like 50 years younger than him.
Right.
True?
He's 73. She's 24, according to this report.
73 and 24? He going to need a lot of Viagra.
How do you know?
I don't know.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
That's right, Beta. So this is my Beta expert.
Hake.
Of the HakeReport.com. Why are you looking silly?
I'm feeling silly. I'm hamming it up.
And then Joel of Joel Friday TV at 11 a.m. right after the Hake Report from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. And then the American Anchor Baby after Joel Friday TV. Experts, all experts here on the Jesse Peterson Show. I'll start with you today, Anchor Baby. What do you think about that?
That's terrible.
In what way and why?
And I don't know Belichick that well, but my buddy, who was always into football, he would tell me how Belichick is just a man, and just commanding the Patriots, has all these rings. I know Derek put a picture of his rings here. That I'd show it, and it does not look right. She's snapping at him like some mama. And they're trying to hide something, obviously. Like, it seems like they're trying to hide something there. But
did he respond when she said, "We're not answering"? Whatever she said, did he answer the question or not?
It looked like he just got quiet, but these interviews are edited,
right?
So do you know if he answered or not?
Well, the same video we both saw is all the video I saw, and it ended when she said, "Don't answer that."
He just okay. Oh, okay. I was told he was just okay. He didn't answer.
So apparently he just said okay. Yeah,
according to my producer.
It looks terrible.
Amazing. What do you say?
Well, I tried to listen to it out there, but I couldn't really hear it fully. So could you guys just sum it up?
Play it for Joel to hear, just so Joel can hear what happened the first time.
Check it out.
Joel, he's an expert. He got to be fair with it.
Well, it seems most sports fans are talking about something that has nothing to do with what's happening on the court or the field, but instead Bill Belichick's interview seen this weekend on CBS. His 24-year-old girlfriend shutting down questions over their relationship.
Now, a few years ago, it would have been hard to imagine Belichick doing an interview like this. So what do Patriots fans think now? We sent WBZ's Logan Hall to get some answers.
Not talking about this.
It's the interview taking the world by storm. Bill Belichick sitting down with CBS News' Tony DeCopel on CBS Sunday Morning in an interview being described as awkward and uncomfortable.
Never been too worried about what everybody else thinks. Just try to do what I feel like is best for me and what's right.
Associate Professor of Sports Marketing at Babson College, Anjali Ball, summed it up as best she could.
In this situation, it was awkward from like moment one until the end. And so starting with the fact that he had a massive hole in his sweatshirt, and then every question they seemed to ask kind of ended in an awkward response.
But the moment maybe getting the most attention on social media, the presence of 73-year-old Belichick's 24-year-old girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, and her control over the questions DeCopel asked.
How did you guys meet?
Not talking about this.
My buddy, to be fair, my buddy always told me that's classic Belichick. Dressing that way, I think I heard that's classic.
Yeah, it almost looks like a T-shirt. That's how thin and worn down.
Yeah,
whole field.
And he white.
I used to dress like that.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Yeah.
Isn't that how white people dress?
I still would.
But
I might go back to that.
See that? It's cheaper.
He looks great.
And it's cheaper.
Yeah.
You say?
Well, it's hard to tell what's really going on because of the fact that there's just those two videos.
Well, the man is 77 years old. He's married to a
24-year-old girl.
Yeah. So
not
he's
married.
Not married, but dating, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like 50 years older than her.
Right.
And so the guy wanted to know, how'd y'all meet? And she's like, we're not talking about that.
For whatever reason, she wants to be secret. But, I mean, there's just bound to have... It's just hard to tell because I just don't know how they met, the arrangement. Obviously, this big age gap is going to cause some challenges within the relationship.
But how about when she said, we ain't going to talk about that? He wasn't asking her, he was asking him.
Well, you also gotta think about how like the ego on the arrangement of the fact that he's this wealthy football coach and he has this young girl that's pretty attractive, all these things, and he has all this image and likeness. There's probably just all kinds of weird ego involved in anyway. So it's just hard to have a solid opinion.
Oh, so you don't have an opinion why she was able to tell him we're not going to talk about that, and he doesn't talk about it?
I don't, because I need more. Like, why is she saying that? I don't know why she's saying that.
But he's 70-something years old.
Right. I mean, it's silly to see, but I just don't know why.
And you say?
She's embarrassed of him when he should be embarrassed of her. But she should be embarrassed of him because he's way too old for her, and he's being weak and letting her run the show on CBS's show or whoever's show that was. This is all too common. Anytime a manly dude gets with a guy, man, gets with a gal, and he gets whipped.
Can you imagine being 70-some years old and a 22-year-old can control you?
Yeah.
Talk about the spirit of the mama.
She doesn't know.
And here's the thing. It might not even be like a real person. In that,
what do you mean, real person?
Or a real relationship. This is my opinion. I'm not making any claims.
According to the report, they're dating.
Right. But dating, dating can be.
Oh, you thinking that she may be a blow-up doll?
No, she's a real person.
Oh,
but you and I, we date because it's like, wow, we like each other. Other people might date
you and Jesse date.
You got money. Look, I'm just saying, this is my opinion, right? And
I don't understand what you're saying.
He's saying date doesn't mean all dating is not the same. Is what he's saying. The relationship may be different. In some cases,
people pay escorts, for example. I'm not saying that that's what's happening with this, but just to
get
you thinking about what I'm thinking about.
She can shut down the conversation.
You say, well, on that, the point I'm trying to make is whether it is that or not, that's still whipped. That's still whipped at the end of the day.
Whether it's what or not.
An escort or not.
But you don't know that. Well, you gonna come up? How you come?
I don't know that. I'm not saying that about Belichick. I'm just trying to prime you into what I was thinking.
Oh, are you trying to say that maybe she had a reason like that for not?
Correct.
But we don't know her
revealing.
reason.
Exactly. We don't know.
Right.
It would have been nice if he had shut her down for shutting him down.
At 70-some years old?
Yeah.
Or
and
22
actually,
years old? I don't care if she was a slut.
He could regain his power by dropping her because she was out of line, obviously. She made it worse for herself and him.
Well, he made it worse if he gave in to her and didn't talk about it.
True, but, I mean, just her blabbering like that.
I know.
That's the devil in disguise. Not very well disguised.
And
I just need more to see. I mean, it makes sense, but we obviously see and hear about stories like that could be what you guys are talking about, and it's true what you guys are saying. I just don't know. I just need more to I would guess give my opinion on it. But you guys aren't wrong if that's what they're talking about.
Jared says that he has a longer clip for you.
Nice.
Should I update?
I'm not judging him.
Bill Belichick. You don't have it yet.
All right.
Well, you didn't say shout out.
I stand with Bill Belichick. Shout out to the Dolphins. I'm pulling for you, brother.
Belichick's
Drop that.
That's like Higgs' version of repentance right there. Shout out.
Yeah.
It looked like the reporter was shocked when she said we're not. He like, what?
This is an A-B conversation.
And sorry.
So see your way out here.
And all the fans knew. That's the funny thing. The average person they just asked on the street, something told them that was wrong.
Well, it's too, but also, these type of interviews, the interviewers do pry a little bit to get into people's personal lives because it makes for a good story.
Oh,
so
yeah.
she could have been triggered by that too.
Yeah.
There's just so many different things.
Right, like they brought him on. Hey, Belichick, let's interview Belichick. But it's like, guys, we gotta ask him about her.
Right, maybe she didn't want to talk about how they met.
Right.
But he shouldn't have let her in the room with him.
Yeah.
It wasn't an interview with her.
Right.
Or he can say, you know what? I don't want to get into that.
Yeah.
She's right. I
Right.
don't want to talk about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Maybe he likes to talk about it. She does. He was ready to go. Who knows?
Reminds me of, I don't know if did we play it on the show where Alec Baldwin got told off by his wife? And he's like, sorry.
These white women, something else.
And he's like broken, and then he's angry and just kind of storming off.
I have the clip.
I stand with Alec Baldwin,
How
too.
long is it?
It is 1 minute 50.
Hey, what is it we supposed to see here, Derek? Okay, hit it from CBS.
The other change for Belichick is 24-year-old Jordan Hudson, his creative muse, as he writes in his book. Jordan was a constant presence during our interview.
You have Jordan right over there. Everybody in the world seems to be following this relationship. They've got an opinion about your private life. It's got nothing to do with them, but they're invested in it. How do you deal with that?
Never been too worried about what everybody else thinks. Just try to do what I feel like is best for me and what's right.
How did you guys meet?
Not talking about this.
No?
No.
It's a topic neither one of them is comfortable commenting on, though Hudson has recently posted about it on Instagram.
You joined InstaFace, as you put it. I love that. There's some great pictures of you and Jordan, where you're a fisherman and she's a mermaid. It's charming. It's a different side of you. What's the reaction been like?
What's it been like?
To have these different sort of photos. There's another one where you're doing, I know you're not into meditation or yoga or Pilates. You're balancing Jordan on your feet, and she's doing kind of the Titanic pose.
Yeah, so I'm on some of those social media platforms, but I honestly don't follow them.
What he does follow isn't clicks or views, but touchdowns and, above all, wins.
You do seem like you're having a lot more fun these days than you were in other chapters of your life, let's say.
I enjoy football. I enjoy the whole process of it. It's hard to win, and it's hard to beat other good coaches, good teams. I appreciate the grind. I appreciate the competition. But coaching's fun, and honestly, I feel like I haven't worked a day in my life.
Amazing. And now you say?
I mean, obviously from that, there's like these hate comments, I guess, they're getting for those his personal life, where he's doing like silly things, putting her in the air, and she's dressed as a mermaid, and he's whatever. And I think that she just doesn't want that to be out there, but she's going about it in a weird way.
But it's not like she's the one that put it online, because he doesn't seem to know.
Right, but like
posting it, whatever they do.
Right, it seems like she's trying to defend. She don't want to talk about the personal thing because she don't want to be trashed for their relationship.
Why he put it out online then?
He didn't put it out there.
I said she.
Oh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a great question.
Because women are always conflicted. They're always double-minded. They want the attention, but then they also hate the attention because the reality is different from what they imagine.
Yeah,
this is industry behavior. I don't want to say what industry, but
he said it's
this is industry behavior. Sorry,
The woman's
I'm thinking
behavior.
out loud.
But this guy seems to be lost. He doesn't really seem to understand.
Yeah,
what
I know.
that-
It crossed my
seems that
mind. I'm
way.
like, oh no. What?
Yeah.
I have no idea what his health is and all that, but
Yeah, Belichick doesn't seem to understand what's going on.
right.
Or
No,
displaying
I think
any type of confidence as a man or anything. Just kind of sitting
He
there.
might know.
What?
He might know they haven't. He
Well, he
might.
doesn't seem to
He might be
know, but-
okay with the agreement he has.
He's like, what? What are you talking about online?
Right.
I may be online. I don't know nothing about it.
I think they're afraid. That's what it seems like. They're afraid to get into the personal stuff because they're receiving maybe some hate.
But why she got it all public if she's afraid of that? It doesn't make sense.
It's advertising.
What do you guys think about Michelle saying that black women don't articulate their pain. Watch this from X.
We don't articulate as Black women our pain because it's almost like nobody ever gave us permission to do that.
And does anyone care?
Yeah, there's
Do
that.
they care?
There's that
we
part.
knew, I think we would care. If we knew.
Mm-hmm.
If we knew.
Or, yeah, and we have to ask ourselves, the men in our lives is, why wait to be asked? It seems like what we go through is pretty obvious. I mean, maybe we're not complaining, but we're actually living life out loud,
Mm-hmm. What you say?
I think I've seen some clips about it because that's Michelle Obama podcast with her brother.
Right.
And that's her brother. That's her brother.
Yeah, he looks just like her.
And when I realized, it just felt like angry ladies that want to give their opinion and think that they're standing for Black women or making a difference. And when I see that her brother in there, it just looks like they just beat him into submission. He's just there. And you should see him in other interviews. All he does is basically agree with her, but then ask well, what can we do better? What can we do to be a better man? I'll do whatever I need to do to be a better man type of thing. And then they'll just sit up there and just be like, well, fix it. Do something. They'll just treat him that way, but he's beaten into submission. So it's just angry people.
What do you think, about that? Black women don't articulate their pain.
That's true. They don't articulate it. They express it very openly and loudly. Shout out.
Well, you said
I was going to say something similar. If this is them not expressing it, I don't want to know what it is when they do.
I was saying this is the biggest lie I ever heard. Michelle lying. Black women don't shut up about their pain. They need to shut up. Some people say, what's wrong? They don't. That's all Black women ever do and complain. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
If they get any more, the world has to shut down. That's the biggest lie I ever heard. Is she on pot? I'm not saying she is, but why she? That's not even true at all. They're up there complaining right now. Let me go quickly to Juan, our first-time caller out of Florida. Juan, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Tony. Juan.
Yes. I don't know where to start. You talk about stuff that no one else is talking about, and when I hear your content or the things you put out there, I'm just like, I can't believe this dude's saying this stuff.
Amazing.
Let me use one example. You were talking with this guy during the Fallen State in an interview, and you were talking to him about his wife, and you asked him, "Oh, do you feel like you own the goat?" And he started laughing. And that.
Do you feel like you what now?
You asked one of your guests on the Fallen State show if you felt like you owned the goat when referring to his wife, and he started laughing. That's like one of your videos that you had on your website, and it made a huge light bulb go off over my head. I just like, whoa.
Oh, amazing.
Yes. And let me explain why. Okay. Basically, my father died a long time ago, and because of that, his mother hated my mother, and I didn't know why. Okay, my whole life. I'm 33 now. And looking back, and after hearing you saying that and thinking about it, I was like, my grandma hated my mom because my grandma felt like my mother took him for a ride and took the house that their parents bought for them and all this stuff. Super dramatic.
Yeah. What a mess.
Oh, yeah.
Have you forgiven your grandmother and your mother?
It's been a life struggle.
Have you forgiven your grandmother and your mother?
I'm trying.
Have you forgiven your grandmother and your mother?
I have to.
Have you forgiven your grandmother and your mother?
No, it doesn't seem like it.
Have you forgiven your grandmother and your mother?
I mean, I have to, yeah, like I just said. I mean,
have you forgiven your grandmother and your mother?
In ways. It depends. Like you said, it's a mess. It's a mess.
Have you gone and forgiven your grandmother and your mother?
My grandma died.
Have you gone and forgiven your mother?
No, I haven't.
And why not?
The reason I haven't gone back is because I wanted to have something to go back with, and I wanted to articulate myself and make a good point as to why I feel the way I feel.
How old are you?
I'm 33.
And why? How you are going back with something? You're going back with forgiveness. You're going to forgive her for what she's done to you. Now that you understand what her mother have done to her, how will you be free if you don't forgive your mother?
I don't see any way.
So why don't you go and forgive her, and so that you can be free?
Because they've done a lot of other things that were not to my liking.
But if you forgive them because they can't help themselves, then God will forgive you, and no one can ever touch you. You'll be free, and the world cannot touch you. You'll overcome thoughts and emotions. You'll be in the world, but not of it. Why don't you forgive so God can forgive you, so you can be free? And it wouldn't matter what they did or what they said or how they act. It would be on them. It have nothing to do with you.
You're right. Part of my problem was how they would present themselves to me and other people, and at the same time, because I was the kid amongst them, I was just the boy. They turned me into a beta, like pitch beta.
But now you will overcome that. I understand what you're saying, because everyone is like, every man and every woman you know are betas until they forgive their mothers and return to the Father. You will overcome being a beta once you apologize for resenting them, and so God can make you free.
Yeah, I should.
Do you stutter when you speak?
This is just something. It's just when I'm nervous, man. This is like something I have to talk about. It's like I can talk about other stuff normally, but talking about them is just super off-putting.
Well, if you realize you're wrong for being angry at them, because anyone who has anger is evil. You have hatred. You're evil. If you realize you're wrong for judging them, then God will forgive you and take away all that away from you, and you'll be able to talk to them or about whatever situation, and you'll be fine. But you got to drop the anger first. You got to forgive.
Okay. Now,
and it doesn't matter if they admit they're wrong or not. You will go free once you stop being angry at, period.
Okay. All right. You say don't be angry, but say, all right, I got like tell like it is. They diagnosed my brother with autism, and they played that to the best of their advantage. Like, my brother's just like a live-in beta for life. And telling her, hey, what you did to my brother is not right. You know, that's like the source of my anger for me. And she just, to her, it's just falling on deaf ears. She has like no idea, she has no idea like why I feel like I have a right to be angry.
But you have no right to be angry. There's never, ever, but never, 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 ever, no situation, no matter what, there's never a reason to be angry. Anger is evil, and anger separates you from peace.
You're right, Jesse. Yeah.
It doesn't matter what she thinks or what she admit or anything. You forgive by realizing you're wrong for being angry at her. She couldn't help herself. And then you'll be free. Anger is evil. There's no reason to be angry. If you want, you got to forgive her for what she's done. She couldn't help it. Just as you couldn't help being angry at her all these years, once you forgive, you're going to be free.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, I guess to sum it up, basically, my father took his life with drugs, and
because of time, forgive him. He didn't know how to deal with the issue of life in the same way you're struggling with it.
Yeah, I mean,
he resented his mother too.
I know. Yeah, I mean, I know. I hear what you're saying. Yeah,
Juan, let me do this. Can you call me back tomorrow morning? Call me back tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
and then
I will.
I have more time because the show is about to end right now. Call me back tomorrow and remind them when you call in, let them know I told you to call back. And I'll take your call right away, all right?
Thank you, sir.
All right, buddy. Call me tomorrow.
All right. Thanks for having me.
All right. Yesterday I mentioned that, and we had an amazing conversation with Bill Lockwood about it. You can podcast yesterday's show, the first 2 hours. And it was very, very interesting. I have always, and thank God I still am, interested in the truth. I want to know the truth. And I want to understand human nature. And I want to understand not only the world in me, but the world outside of me too, how all that works and why things happen the way they happen. And so I was reflecting on how is it that white people are superior to all people? And I say all people because I noticed that all the white countries is where all people want to go, to the white countries. But then I also noticed that when they get to the white countries, they destroy those white countries because they bring their old habits, old thoughts, and old ways into the white countries. And then I noticed that in America, originally it was just between black and whites. And the blacks eventually were convinced by their black leaders that white people are superior to them. They were not thinking that way prior to that. I have to add that. But over the last 70 years or so, give or take, black people have been convinced that white people are superior. The blacks in America, right? And I know it's happening in South Africa and other places too. And so, but in America, the war used to be just between black and white. Remember that? During the Civil Rights era, it was just blacks and whites. And the black people, so-called leadership, told the black people that white people are superior and you need equal rights. And so I still been reflecting on that to understand how did it get to where it is today. And so I thought about it and I reflected. And prior to the Civil Rights Movement, which was the worst thing that ever happened to the blacks, by the way, except for abortion. But I remember when black people did not think that white people were superior to them. And so they went about their lives doing what they do. Booker T. Washington created the University of Tuskegee. And the peanut man created some peanut and peanut butter. And they were just kind of doing their thing because they were not comparing themselves to white people, they didn't think of white people as being superior. They thought we were equal. All were equal. And so they lived that way and things were fine. Yeah, some animosity between human nature because human nature is evil, so you're going to have the good and the bad between the people all the time, but not in a race issue. And so, and then along come the so-called civil rights movement. It's so interesting to me because I wonder, how did it get to this, right? So the civil rights movement came along with Martin Luther King and Jesse Jackson and all those crappy people. And they told the blacks, you need equal rights. You need civil rights. And here's why you need them. White people holding you back. White people discriminating. You need to ride on the front of the bus. And they made up stuff. And the black people, those who were not individual thinkers, said yes to that, and they joined the force, right? And so for a long time, there were only white people and black people fighting for equal rights. And the white people were like, there's no such thing as equal rights. You already have rights. You can do what you want to do. But the so-called leadership convinced the black, no, you need equal rights. And the white people for a while were saying, no, don't impose on me like that. You're doing just fine. Don't impose. Let it happen naturally. And they fought back for a while. And then eventually, I want you to really listen to this. This is so deep. And I don't even understand the fullness of it yet. And I believe that. But the white people were like, no, don't impose. Because the black so-called civil rights leader were telling the black people, you need to go to the white schools. They're like, even though the black school was working just fine, but they convinced the blacks that your schools are not working. I want you to realize prior to being convinced of that, black people were graduating from black schools and they were going to college, black colleges. They were starting their own businesses. They were coming back teachers and lawyers and whatever they wanted to be. And it was just fine. Everybody was proud and happy. But the blacks told the blacks, no, that's not good enough. And then the white people like, why not? You're doing just fine. There's no such thing as equal, right? And the black leadership kept pushing it. And they were like, well, we want to go to your schools. Our schools are not good enough. Even though they have Martin Luther King and all those guys, well, as I know, they went to black schools. They did very well. But they wanted to be leaders. And so they had... And people who want to be a leader, they have to create a following. They need a crowd because a weak person cannot stand alone. And so they created this crowd of black people in the inner cities, in the city of Montgomery, Alabama, and then up north. They started inviting them to come down to Montgomery and Selma and fight with them because they needed a crowd. Weak people cannot stand alone. Have you noticed yourself as a weak person? You cannot stand alone because you're weak. You have fear. You're an emotional person. You're into your head and emotional, and you can't stand alone. You got to build a crowd, like Mama built a crowd against you when you apologize to her for resenting her, and all that kind of stuff. And so they built this crowd of black people, and they're like, we are marching for civil rights. And they're like, what? White people like fought back for a while. They're like, what? And then they said, we want to go to your school because our schools are not good enough, even though they were fine. Again, the blacks were graduating. They were going to black universities. The black universities at that time were amazing schools. They were just equal to the white schools. But the black leadership didn't like that because the people were free and they wanted to be leaders. And the only way you can be a leader in your mind, that you need some followers, so you're going to create some angry ones, right? And so they had these black people marching with them, and eventually the white people, the government said, okay, we're going to let you in our schools, because they pushed back for a while, and then they said, okay, we're going to let you in. And they're like, cool. And so they started going to the white schools, and the black schools disappeared for the most part. They disappeared, no longer exist. You may can find one or two now, maybe. And so the black schools disappear, and then disappear. The disappearance of the black school, independence disappeared. Individuality disappeared. Competition in the right way disappeared. And then when they got that done, they said, we want you to let us in your business, the blacks said to the whites, in your neighborhood. And the white people were like, what the? Because white people were superior. They were just kind of living their lives, not knowing that they were superior. Not a person who is superior don't think about being superior. It's not on their mind. They're not trying to act that way. They're not trying to prove that way. They're not trying to get control of others. They're just living their lives, being creative, going what they're doing. But the black leadership made the blacks believe that white was superior. So the white people were like, what the? I didn't know that. And so they said, we want to get into your businesses now, and we're going to boycott your private businesses. We're going to sit in at your cafes, your own private. And the white people are like, when we built this, we did this on our own. My mama got up and went to work every day building a restaurant or whatever. And the black leaders said, we don't care. We want civil rights. They made it up, civil rights. And so for a while, I want you to think about this. For a while, there were only blacks and whites having a war between each other, because at that time, it was pretty much black and white country, America. And then the blacks realized, the leadership, so-called leadership, they realized they needed allies. They realized, we need allies. Just blacks fighting against the whites are not enough. We need allies. And so they decided that we're going to let the homosexuals be a part of this movement, because prior to the Mexicans and anybody else, the homosexuals were not a part of the black civil rights movement. And I remember it was just blacks and whites. But then the black people needed more allies, the civil rights leaders, because they needed more people to complain about civil rights. And so they started telling the leadership in the homosexual areas, wherever you call it, y'all need civil rights. The white man is keeping you from having civil rights. Come join us. And when the homosexuals first got involved with the civil rights movement, there was a fight between the blacks in the movement and the homosexuals, because and I used to see it all the time. I used to hear it all the time. What does being a homosexual have to do with civil rights? Being black. We're black because we're black. And that has nothing to do with being homosexuals. And they fought against that for a while. But then the civil rights movement, Jesse Jackson, those guys convinced them, no, homosexuals need civil rights too. And the blacks didn't know that the leadership was building allies. Because we people need an army. They can't stand alone. They got to build an army. And so after time went by, and it took a while too, eventually they convinced the blacks to stop complaining about homosexuality is not a civil rights. It has nothing to do with color, because they were saying you're discriminating against us because of our color, not because of who we have sex with. And that went on for a while, and the fight was on, and the homosexuals fought back. No, we're the same. And Jesse Jackson and those so-called leaders, they started to agree with homosexuals. And so they built this ally of homosexuals to be a part of the civil rights movement. So they started saying they needed civil rights movement and they civil rights, whatever. And so they joined forces with the black, and they built that ally. And then for a while, things were a little bit quiet. But what was happening on the side, the blacks and the homosexuals, they were trying to build a government. They were like, vote for me, and we'll make sure you get more rights, civil rights. We'll represent you. We'll be your leaders. We'll make sure. And at some point, the blacks said, okay, I'll vote for you because I want civil rights. And they voted for the radical black leadership and the radical homosexuals. And then what I noticed is when they voted for these people, they started bringing in all kinds of laws. We need laws for this program and that program and that program and this program. And the white people are like, what's the... Because what happened is when they brought in these different programs, the American people taxes start going up. Because now you got to pay for these programs. And when you pay, the more taxes you pay, the wealthier the leaders got. They start getting more money and power. And the citizens start paying out more money for these different black programs and homosexual programs, right? And so they was like really working good. They were having fun. And then eventually the black leadership and the so-called homosexual leadership said, we need more programs. We need more taxes. So we need more allies. And they're like, yeah, we need more allies. And they're like, well, who can we bring in now? I know the Mexicans. Let's call the Mexicans people of color. Because before that, Mexicans were not a part of the black civil rights movement at all. And the Mexicans did not want to be a part of that. And the Mexicans didn't even have a Mexican leader. They didn't have Mardaf and all those Mexican leaders, groups they have now. And so the civil rights movement got together with the Mexicans. They create Mexican leaders. And the Mexican leaders told the Mexicans, you need civil rights. Come join us with the blacks. We're going to get you civil rights. And then for a while, the Mexican people, because they were independent, they said, no, we don't want that. And then the blacks start calling them people of color. And the Mexicans were like, we have nothing to do with that. We ain't no people of color. What's up? But their leadership started saying the same thing. And eventually, they convinced the Mexicans to join forces. And the Mexicans became allies. They became people of color. And when they became people of color, the group grew. But what happened is they started creating Mexican leaders who said, we need more taxes for more programs. We need programs now for the Mexicans. Now they need programs for the homosexuals, for the blacks, for the Mexicans. And when they did that, they ran for leadership. The Mexicans voted them in. And as a result, the taxes went up. And then people started paying more for the program. And one thing led to another one. And then it got down to the women movement. They said, ladies, you're not happy. You need to be you need civil rights. You're being oppressed. You can't vote. You can't do this. You need a leader. You need civil rights. And at first the women were like, what the? I didn't know that. What the? And they convinced the women that they need leaders. They need civil rights. And they create leadership in the women's movement. And they too became a part of the allies. And it left the normal white people who never knew that they were as powerful as they were, that they were superior, because they were not thinking about being superior. And so they eventually got the women to agree to be a part of the civil rights group that needed programs and money for this and that, and the taxes went through the roof. And now we are paying taxes through the roof. Babysitting program, after school programs, women's day programs, women getting jobs and then they get pregnant on the job. While on the job, they need months off to have a baby. They're paying for that now, the taxpayers. And you wonder what happened. You allowed the movement to happen. And then the normal, powerful white people, they were, at this point in 2025, they're just kind of giving up. And they're quietly living their lives. They're giving up the fight. And so because that's what superiority people do. They still quietly live their life, but they don't fight with you anymore. And our taxes are through the roof because they built these allies. And they said, okay, now that the allies are in, and they voted them in, vote us in. We're going to get you more program. We're going to get you money. We're going to make you a victim and take care of you. And that's what's happening today. My question is, are you a victim? Are you weak? Are you emotional? Are you living in your imagination and emotion, and it's so difficult, you need an ally? You need a group to live. Do you fight with others, or are you free? Do you live in your thoughts? Do you overreact the moment someone look at you wrongly, or say something about you, or turn against you, or don't want to be married to you anymore, or whatever? Your children don't want to. Are you an individual, or are you an ally to evil? Because that's what this whole movement is about. It's evil. I know some people call it socialism, and it is, but it's evil. Because the average human being cannot stand alone. And we're paying taxes through the roof on something called civil rights, which doesn't even exist. And the powerful white Americans have just given up. And they're quietly living their lives. And that's the right thing to do, I guess. 888-7753-773. What a mess! But you can be free in spite of all what's happening around you, because my country is not going to change. Here's a female who said that, you know how blacks are always complaining about America? Oh, it's so racist. It's all racist. You can't make it in America. The white man holding me down. It's hard on the black man in America. The white man hold me down. I want to go to Africa. I want to go somewhere. I'm going to leave America. Like there's another better place to go, right? I'm going somewhere else. I can't handle this racism, which doesn't exist. It's an illusion. But they believe it because they want civil rights, even though there's no such thing as civil rights. They want civil rights. And the superior white man said, you know what? I'm not trying to hold you back. I'm not even thinking about you. I'm just being superior. Without thinking about being superior, I'm just living my life. And you're here whining about civil rights. What the? And racism. So this woman decided, along with some other people, black people I've heard who left America, and now they're regretting it. This woman decided she's going to move to Africa. And I've tried to tell people for a long time now, it ain't pretty in Africa. What the? And when you go to Africa, they're not going to treat you like an African. They're going to treat you like an American. They don't care what color you are. But no, she decided she want to go and live in Mommy Africa, because she's fed up with the racism in America, which doesn't exist. Black people, white people are not trying to hold you back. The liberal whites are trying to hold you back now, so they need you to have some civil rights so that they can use you to get more money and power for themselves. Perceived power, but power. Here's a woman who says she fled the U.S. to Africa to escape racism and now want to return. She want to come back. There should be a rule that she can't come back. But she want to come back to the U.S. after being miserable in Africa because of the bugs and water. Watch this from X.
But y'all, I'd rather go back to America and deal with the racism in America before I sit here in Africa and deal with the bullshit robbery, the bullshit fraud, the bullshit scams, the bullshit too expensive, the bullshit not having no snacks, the bullshit not having no food, the bullshit electricity, the bullshit hot water, the bullshit what's that shit called that be coming down? The bullshit animals, it's scorpions outside the house, it's big ass spiders, it's big ass lizards, colorful lizards you ain't never seen before, all in the room with you, sleeping with you, all the bullshit people trying to scam you when you go outside thinking you rich, so they trying to get more money off of you. I'm really trying to wrap my head around this shit. I'm really trying to wrap my head around how are Americans coming to Africa and being happy. Please comment down below, because for me, I'm ready to go. And I always used to say, if it's up to me, it will be, and I'm going to go out to Africa and make it happen. No, I don't want to.
She want her snacks. She look like she could use at least one more snack, right? Y'all still want to go to Africa? She even said that she want to bring her business back to America. Watch this.
I want to take my businesses back to America. I want to open up shop back in America, open up my dentist office, and all the stuff that I was going to do out here in America. Steady electricity, and the only time our electricity get cut off is when we don't pay the bill. And we got it so good now, we got prepaid electricity, so if we forget to pay the bill, we put some money on that prepaid thing, and it comes right back on in 2 minutes. In less than 2 minutes. This right here didn't come on for 14 hours yesterday. I can't deal. I love the people. Don't get me wrong, when I'm outside, I'm having fun. I love the people. But when I come back to reality, when you come back home, home is where the heart is, right? When you come back home, you're supposed to feel comfortable, you're supposed to be happy. I'm not happy.
The electricity goes off for hours, sometimes a day. If you want to come back from America, when your light can turn out because you didn't pay the bill, it's back on in a minute. So black people, why don't you wake up and accept what you have and be grateful instead of living an illusion that Africa would be better? Stop being a civil rights activist and be free. Stop being into the color movement and be superior in your own life. Why not give that a try? 888-77, you want to come back. So all black people, y'all need to listen to this. This woman can't even get some snacks over there. And she look like she needs snacks. And they're not available. Sleeping with the bugs, lay down with the bugs. They're in her house, they're everywhere. Let me go to Canada and talk to first-time caller Justin out of Canada. Justin, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse. How are you today?
All is well, sir.
Recently I've got suspended from school.
Nice.
A comment because I have a friend who has a girlfriend who I heard from someone that she likes black men. So then I said, as a joke, right, that she likes dark chocolate. And then the school said that it was sexually and racially charged.
What? So are you in high school?
Yes.
What grade?
Grade 11.
And so how did the school know you said it?
Because they interviewed two other people, and then those two people said Jalen said it, but just as a joke, right?
Right. And so you and I guess two other people hanging around, you made a joke, but how did the administration find out you made a joke?
Because the vice principal interviewed my friend said to the vice principal that Jalen made a sexually and racially charged statement, and then they interviewed 2 other people that were in the area when I said it.
So your friend that you made this joke with went and told the vice principal?
Yes.
Really? And were you surprised that your friend would do that?
Not really, because in the past he has told on other people for making jokes, but he has also made much worse jokes about me and my other friends. But we haven't told the school.
And so if there have been signs, you've seen these signs in this person, why would you keep them as a friend? Why do you let them go a long time ago?
Because I sometimes read the Bible and it's saying that I should forgive him and that I should see past that and then give him another chance, right?
No, you should forgive him, but you should be done with him. Once you see your enemy, I don't care who it is, once you see your enemy, don't resent them, forgive them. They cannot help themselves, but you be done with them because they're going to destroy you if you keep them around.
Okay, I understand now, Jesse.
Yeah.
So what should I do now in this situation?
How long are you suspended for?
2 days.
Oh, well, just relax. Be glad that you were thrown out. Don't regret it. Don't be angry about it. Have some fun your next 2 days. And just realize it's a lesson in there for you. This person that's supposed to be your friend, don't be angry, but be done with them.
Yeah. Okay, I understand.
And go back to school. Have fun.
Another thing, should I not report him calling my father a child predator?
He called your father that?
Yeah, because my dad has a big age difference between my mom, right? My mom's 40 and he's 60.
Right. And he said that to you?
Yeah.
And no, I wouldn't. Don't try to get revenge against anyone.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I don't want to get him in trouble.
Yeah, no. The one thing I want you to learn, 2 things. Number one, always forgive. That doesn't mean you don't speak up and all that, but never, ever, 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 but never. There's never, ever a reason to be angry. All right.
Yeah.
And so forgive, but you can speak up when you need to, but never try to get revenge against anyone, because what they're doing to you, they're doing it to themselves, and I promise you, revenge will happen to them on its own. You don't need to do it.
Okay.
So just wish this person well, and don't hang out with him anymore. Don't play with him anymore. Don't talk to him anymore. Just be done with him, but don't be angry.
Okay. He also reported to the school that I drink too much and smoke too much, but I only do it occasionally.
Right. That's another reason to be done with him. This guy is too much into your business.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So should my other friends be done with him, or should they try to rehabilitate him?
Well, no, you can't rehabilitate anyone. Only God can do that. Only God can change another person's heart. And most human beings do not want a heart change. They love their misery. They love their own misery. They love their anger. They love their emotions. They love their doubts. They love their revenge. They love their jealousy. But if your friends, you can't make your friends do it. But if they don't, I promise you they will regret it.
Okay.
Because you're not the only one that he's doing this to and will do it to. So that's up to your friends. You can't do anything about that.
Okay.
I wish you well, man. Let me know how it goes.
Thank you, Jesse. I'll tell you how it goes.
All right, buddy. I wish you well.
You
thank you. What a mess.